Kendrick Lamar just flipped the entire rap game, and the ripple effects are getting louder by the day. As tour dates sell out, as lyrics go viral, and as the culture tilts in his direction, a quiet panic is spreading through the industry. Rappers are going silent, labels are getting nervous, and somewhere behind the scenes, a storm is brewing. Because when one man raises the bar this high, it doesn't just change the rules, it exposes who's been coasting. And the real question now isn't who won the beef, it's who survives what comes next. Be sure to like and subscribe, because what we're about to break down is the next turning point in hip-hop. Kendrick Lamar's Grand National Tour isn't just a celebration of his victory, it's a statement, a warning, and a blueprint, all at once. With just a handful of shows in, it's already becoming clear this might be the most culturally disruptive tour in modern hip-hop history. Stadiums packed wall to wall, crowds chanting every bar, and a set list built to remind the world who's really carrying the genre. And it's working. The reaction hasn't been applause, it's been fear, quiet fear. From artists who dominated during a different era, because what Kendrick's doing right now isn't just outperforming, he's redefining the ceiling. He's showing that lyrical excellence, depth, and artistic risk can still win on the biggest stages. This wasn't supposed to be possible in 2025, especially after an era built on vibes over substance. But Kendrick flipped that, and the moment he did, the shift wasn't subtle, it was seismic. What used to work for other artists is suddenly falling flat. What used to sell is now being questioned. And behind the scenes, you can feel the tension. Because when one man moves like this, the rest of the game either levels up or gets left behind. And that's exactly what's happening. What started as quiet industry murmurs has exploded into something undeniable. There's a real resentment building around Kendrick Lamar, and it's not just coming from rivals, it's coming from artists who once ruled the charts, from peers who coasted during the streaming era, and from an entire lane of rappers suddenly forced to confront something they haven't in years: effort. DJ Academics was one of the first to say it out loud. According to his insider convos, multiple artists believe Kendrick has ruined hip-hop. Why? Because he made people care about lyrics again. He made fans read, analyze, and engage. And for rappers who built their careers on surface-level bars and formulaic drops, that's terrifying. They're not mad at Kendrick for being disrespectful. They're mad because he made the audience expect more. From Young Thug brushing off Not Like Us, to Lil Baby distancing himself from Kendrick's side of rap, the shift is clear. These aren't just casual opinions, they're defense mechanisms. Because deep down, a lot of these artists know if Kendrick's the new standard, they're not ready for what's coming. And instead of rising to the challenge, some are choosing denial. But the tour isn't slowing down, so neither is the pressure. The backlash to Kendrick's rise isn't just coming from artists, it's echoing through the labels, executives, and gatekeepers who once controlled the tempo of the genre. As Kendrick proves that depth can sell and that lyrical weight can fill stadiums, it's created a quiet panic among those who benefited from the previous system. A system where vibes ruled, where streams mattered more than message, and where certain artists were industry darlings because they didn't challenge anything. Now, with Kendrick shifting the narrative, labels are making moves, not to embrace the change, but to protect the old ways. Rumors of internal pressure to tone down anti-Drake content, canceled collaborations, and hesitation around politically charged lyrics have started to surface. Even respected names like Pusha T have allegedly faced resistance simply for being adjacent to Kendrick's momentum. What we're witnessing isn't just creative tension, it's corporate self-preservation. And when the power players choose comfort over culture, it's a red flag. Because this isn't just about beef, it's about influence, about what kind of rap gets funded, pushed, and heard. And if Kendrick's voice threatens that balance, the industry's not going to clap, they're going to push back, even if it means stifling the very progress the genre needs. Since Kendrick Lamar's takeover, one eerie trend has emerged. Rap releases have gone silent. Outside of Kendrick and a few scattered drops, the genre has hit a strange standstill. Artists who once dominated every summer are either delaying albums, going ghost on social media, or quietly dropping projects that barely make a dent. And the ones who did release, Lil Baby, Lil Durk, saw career low numbers and almost instant forgettability. But this isn't a coincidence. It's the aftermath of a power shift, because when Kendrick raised the bar, it exposed the formula. It made fans crave intention over playlists, art over algorithm. Suddenly, those same repetitive beats, safe hooks, and generic features don't land like they used to, and that's left many rappers frozen, caught between their old blueprint and a new reality they're not prepared for. Some are blaming the state of hip-hop, some are blaming fans, but the truth is simpler. Kendrick didn't ruin anything, he just disrupted everything. And now the industry's facing a question it hasn't had to ask in years. If you can't coast anymore, do you really have something to say? Because silence isn't just a strategy right now, it's a sign that the old guard doesn't have an answer. With the spotlight shifting and momentum clearly leaning toward Kendrick Lamar, a strange narrative is starting to form. Some artists are blaming him for the current slump in hip-hop. They're saying he ruined the game, that by making fans care about lyrics, concepts, and meaning again, he broke the formula. But let's be real, Kendrick didn't ruin anything. He exposed what wasn't built to last. For years, the genre was driven by rinse and repeat albums, fast food singles, and feature-heavy track lists with no soul. And now that fans are demanding more, the ones who can't deliver are playing defense. Instead of evolving, they're deflecting. Young Thug downplayed Not Like Us. Lil Baby dismissed Kendrick's lane entirely, and others are calling the state of hip-hop a wave of nothingness. But what they're really saying is, we don't know how to compete anymore. Kendrick's presence has made good enough feel lazy. His pen forced the genre to rethink what matters, and that scares people. Because if quality is the new currency, some artists are broke, and blaming Kendrick won't change that. The only thing that will? Growth. But growth takes work, and right now, too many are looking for shortcuts. Kendrick's already outrun. Before Kendrick's resurgence, the rap game had quietly settled into mediocrity. A cycle of predictable drops, recycled flows, and copy-paste albums had become the norm. Artists dropped the same project 5 times with different cover art, and it worked. Audiences didn't expect much, and the charts rewarded convenience over creativity. But Kendrick shattered that illusion. His run reminded everyone what it feels like when an artist treats the craft like a responsibility. And now that the bar's been raised, those same rappers who flourished during the low-effort era are scrambling. The old tricks don't hit anymore. Audiences want purpose, progression, presence. Kendrick's albums don't just stream, they start conversations, spark analysis, shift the genre's axis, and the artists who once mocked depth are realizing they can't pivot without exposing the fact that they never had that range to begin with. That's the real tension. Not that Kendrick changed the game, but that he revealed how stagnant it had become. And now the ones who coasted through the Drake-dominated era are being asked to step up. But when you've been feasting on easy wins for years, putting in real work feels foreign. Kendrick didn't create the gap. He just widened it for everyone to see. The wildest part about all this? Some rappers are acting like trying is oppression. Kendrick didn't drop a diss track and disappear. He backed it up with performance, visuals, rollout precision, and an entire tour that's redefining live rap shows. He's working harder, thinking deeper, and executing at a level most artists haven't touched in years. And instead of rising to the occasion, a lot of rappers are treating that like a threat, like artistry itself is somehow unfair. The complaints are getting louder, that fans want too much, that lyrics shouldn't need to be interpreted, that performance doesn't matter if the beat slaps. But all that does is prove Kendrick's point. Too many were getting by, doing the bare minimum, and now that the standard has changed, they're exposed. It's not just about bars anymore, it's about effort, cohesion, impact, and those things don't come from feature packs and 2-week rollouts. They come from vision, from care, from having something to say. Kendrick has shown what happens when you take the genre seriously. And for those who haven't evolved, the pressure to match that energy feels unbearable, because for the first time in years, rap demands more, and Kendrick's making sure of it. Kendrick Lamar's rise hasn't just changed expectations, it's exposed the fear at the heart of the industry. As his tour breaks records and his influence expands, labels, artists, and insiders are all facing a new, uncomfortable reality. They can't control the narrative anymore. Kendrick didn't just win a rap beef, he took the momentum of the entire genre with him, and now everyone else is playing catch-up. Labels that once dictated trends are now reacting. Artists who used to dominate release weeks are now avoiding them altogether. Even streaming platforms are being more cautious about how they curate and co-sign, because the Kendrick effect isn't just lyrical, it's structural. He's reminded the world that authenticity scales, that depth can be popular, and that no machine, no algorithm, no industry cosign can stop the culture from choosing something real. But that shift comes at a cost for the ones who were never built to survive it. Some careers are stalling, others are quietly fading, and the ones who do try to fight back, they're either pivoting awkwardly or resorting to desperate PR spins. Kendrick's ascent didn't just elevate him, it forced a reckoning, one that's reshaping the future of hip-hop, whether the old guard likes it or not. In a genre built on expression, the loudest reaction to Kendrick's dominance has been silence. Artists who once tweeted daily, dropped monthly, and spoke boldly on every topic are suddenly quiet. No response tracks, no major rebuttals, no meaningful attempts to reclaim momentum, just vague interviews, subtle jabs, and strategic disappearances. But that silence says more than words ever could. It's not just avoidance, it's hesitation. Because deep down, a lot of these rappers know if they drop something now, it has to matter. The era of forgettable singles and safe rollouts is over. Kendrick's success has made it clear fans are listening with intention. Again, every bar is being dissected. Every move is under a microscope, and if your music isn't saying something real, it's getting skipped. That pressure is freezing people. Even some of the biggest names are stuck in limbo, unsure how to pivot, unsure if their formula still works. Meanwhile, Kendrick keeps pushing forward, unbothered, unmatched. He's not waiting for validation. He is the benchmark now, and the lack of response from the rest of the game, it's not a coincidence. It's a quiet concession, one that proves just how deeply Kendrick has rattled the culture, even without saying a word. We're witnessing more than just a hot streak. We're watching a cultural reset. Kendrick Lamar didn't just drop hits or win a battle. He changed what it means to be great in hip-hop right now. The aftershocks are everywhere. From stalled rollouts to awkward interviews, from mid-tier albums flopping to full-blown silence across the charts. The ripple effect is undeniable, but here's the part that can't be reversed. Once fans expect more, there's no going back. Once they've seen what real excellence looks like, the old shortcuts stop working. Kendrick raised the bar, and now the entire ecosystem is being forced to evolve or evaporate. And that's the moment we're in. Some artists will adapt, some will fade, but the game itself, it's moving, it's maturing. And Kendrick's blueprint, thoughtful lyrics, powerful visuals, intentional art is now the standard. This is no longer about a beef or a tour. It's about legacy, about leadership, about what this genre becomes next. Because Kendrick didn't just win, he reminded everyone what hip-hop can be. And for those watching, wondering what happens now, the answer's already here. The shift has happened, and nobody is walking away from it unchanged. Kendrick Lamar didn't ask for the crown, he earned it. And in doing so, he forced the culture to confront a truth it had been avoiding. Hip-hop can't survive on autopilot. Not anymore. The days of mindless drops, lazy bars, and empty hype are fading. And what's taking their place? Intention, impact, artistry. Kendrick didn't just change the conversation, he became the conversation. And now, every artist, every label, every fan has a choice: evolve or get left behind. If you've felt the shift, if you've seen the fear, the silence, the scramble behind the scenes, then you know this isn't just about one rapper. This is about the future of the genre, and Kendrick Lamar just lit the path forward. So what do you think this means for the next generation of hip-hop? Will the industry rise to the challenge or keep ducking it? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because this is a moment the culture has to talk about. Be sure to like and subscribe for more breakdowns as we follow Kendrick's next move and expose who's really ready to step up.